little bit. Sometimes I get a little excited and I don't want to fall off the stage on anybody. There we go. My name is James Lawrence. I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. How are we doing? Wow. We have one bald Canadian.
Yes!
Yes. You're not bald.
Hold on.
You look good though.
Turn the photo on.
My journey started over 10 years ago in triathlon racing.
Hold it up.
I'm now proud. I'm in my 40s.
Nice.
And I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to the best decade of my life.
Yeah.
I want to start with a video from a friend of mine named Dayton. And I've shared this story before, but I want to show a video just to set the stage on what some of my core beliefs are and why I do some of the things that I do. I share that video not to talk about the accomplishment. It's about the little things that we do and the people that we impact on our journeys. It's not about us. It's about everybody else and what we can do for them to bring them up. Can we agree on that? Yes. Awesome. Great. What I do is called the Ironman racing. Anybody in here knows what an Ironman is? Anybody in here completed an Ironman? Yeah, that's a challenge. No, not one person. No, I don't count.
Hey James, I did a sit-up once.
That's good. Yeah, that's the first step. So real quick, an Ironman. Actually, it's not the first step. It's then on your back. An Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2 marathon run. Just to break that down, that's a total of 140.6 miles, and it's all powered by you. I knew there'd be women here, so I put this guy in, just because he's much built better than I am, so that was for you guys. You're welcome. The swim, this is the swim. It's 2.4 miles, and the swim, I promise you, is the most violent part of the day. You will get kicked in the face, you will get run over. It's the equivalent of running your high school track 10 times. But you don't get to walk it or run it, you have to swim it. And it's not fun. It'll take your average trained athlete anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete this portion of the swim. The very best in the sport will do it in about 50 minutes. Once you're finished with the swim portion, you're going to get out of the water and you're going to start the bike portion. The bike portion is the 112 miles. If you didn't know what a bike looks like, that seat's not real big. And it takes anywhere between 5 and 7, 8 hours to complete that portion of the bike race. Once you're done with the bike portion, then you've got to put on your running shoes and just run the marathon. Which is no big deal, only 1% of the population run marathons. And so it's even smaller for those of you that want to swim the 2.4, bike the 112, and then run that 26.2. And so most of you, or probably all of you, since none of you have done an Ironman, are sitting there going, what? Would anybody, everybody's sitting there like, I agree. Why would anybody ever want to do that? Why all the sacrifice? Why all the intense hours? Why all the work? When it does this to the elite level athletes in the world. This is one of the best athletes in the world, Sebastian, and he just finished an Ironman, and this is what it made him feel like. But moments earlier, he did it because he wanted to feel just like this. And that's an unbelievable feeling to have. And I thought to myself, I want to have that feeling as often as I could. What do I have to do to get that feeling? So in 2012, I set out to break the world record for the most Ironmans completed in 1 year. The previous record was 30. I know, why would you do one? So why do more than that? I guess I'm wired different. I was dropped a lot as a kid. But I thought to myself, the world record's 20. I think I want to do 30 full Ironmans in 1 year through 11 countries and try to raise money to build dams in Africa. And so I set on a journey to do that. And I found myself at race number 6, having just come from South Africa, finishing a race. And biking's my strong suit, swimming not so much, but I'm proficient. I get out of the water, and I find myself in 12th position in the race, which isn't normally where I would be, especially on a year where I'm trying to complete so many races. I got onto the bike, and I'm excited, because I can see the leaders. And I bike aggressive. And I bike as hard as I can until I take over the lead of the race. And I'm winning the Ironman. I get to mile 100 of a 112-mile race, or bike. And my right leg starts to cramp up. You just woken up in the middle of the night with your calf, just like, yeah, it's the worst thing on the planet. It's awful. And so that's what my quad did. It completely shut down and stiffened up. So I had a choice right there in that moment. Okay, I can bike the last 12 miles with the left leg only and get to the run portion, and maybe my body will start to change. I'm going to use some different muscles. So naturally, that's what I did. I made it through the last 12 miles. I got to the transition, put on my run shoes, and I start running. And I knew instantly that something was wrong. My body wasn't reacting and operating the way it was supposed to be. My heart rate was elevated. I felt sick to my stomach. As I progressed through the marathon, I got all the way to mile 17. And at mile 17, every single muscle in my body contracted and I hit the ground. I could not move. And the pain was so excruciating, I blacked out. Medical staff comes and starts working on me. My friend Tyrell was there, and he comes over to me, and I can see he's got a cell phone in his hand. And he goes, "James, it's your wife." And I said, "No, thank you." If you know my wife, she was going to say, "Get up and keep moving." You told everybody, and me, and yourself, you're going to do 30 Ironmans. So I said, "I'm good." Tyrell comes back 5 minutes later, same cell phone in his hand, and he goes, "James, it's your daughter, Lucy."
Done.
My wife, she's good. You knew. I'm like, "All right, Tyrell, give me the phone." "Oh, sweetheart." "Dad, it's Lucy. Mom says you're not doing real good. Can you walk?" "Dad, can you walk and finish the race?" I said, "Lucy, I can't." There's a pause on the phone. She goes, "Dad, can you crawl?" "Dad, can you crawl the last 9 miles and finish the race?" This is a true story. I don't make it up. She's 9 at the time. And I say the same awful words to my daughter. I say, "Lucy, I can't." And then she goes, "Dad, can you cartwheel?" "Dad, can you cartwheel 9 miles and finish the race?" Guess what I said? Yes, I can. I learned a very valuable lesson in that moment. How is it possible that a 9-year-old girl had so much belief and so much conviction in her body that I could possibly cartwheel 9 miles and finish this thing off? I had no other choice. And so I got up, I had help putting my shoes back on, and I started to walk through the field. And I got to about 100 feet before that finish line. You know what I did? I cartwheeled over that Sunday. And that was race number 6, and from then on I didn't have any more problems. I went on to win 2 more races that year, placed second 5 other times, and crushed the world record of 20, and we did 30. On race 27 is when I had that incredible day with Dayton, and that's an entire story for another different day. But I realized in that moment that I hadn't found or pushed myself to my satisfaction. I hadn't found my physical or mental limits. And I wanted to know what happens when I get there. What choices am I going to make? And so the idea came to my head, 50-50-50. And the 50-50-50 is 50 full Iron-distance triathlons in 50 consecutive days, one in every state. Get out of here. New York says, get out of here. So I look to my wife and I say, sweetheart, 50-50-50. And my timing was horrible. I thought 3 days left in the year where we were doing 30, and she was like, hell no. You are not doing 50 Ironmans in 50 days. So I had to think about it a little bit longer. So naturally, I've got this concept in my head and I'm over the moon excited. So the first thing I do is I tell everybody I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Every single person that I told me it was impossible. It cannot be done. You will hurt yourself physically. Physicians told me I would die if I attempted this. If I made it through physically, my mind would never hold up. If my mind held up, I'd run into some type of mechanical problem. You're going to travel to every single state in 50 consecutive days. Logistics will shut you down. You realize that Hawaii and Alaska are part of the 50 states. That's what they told me. I'm like, yep, got it. You're going to run into weather. Rain, extreme heat, tornadoes, hurricanes, all of it. I said, great, we'll deal with it. We'll manage, we'll keep going. But how are you going to get from state to state? And in my mind, it was easy. I'm just going to get one of these. And I'm going to put my doctor in it. I'm going to put the film crew in it. I'm going to put my helpers in it. And we're just going to go from state to state and figure it out as we went along. Can't be done, that's impossible. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. And then they said, well, you're selfish, you have 5 children. What are you going to do with them?
Right on.
What do you mean? They're coming what? Like, there's no question. I was criticized for wanting to do it in June and July, the hottest months of the year, and I said, there is no way I'm not taking my 5 kids with me so they can experience this beautiful country we have. And they got to me, and they had a heck of a summer. It was really different than mine. This is my beautiful wife, Sunny, and any good man that says they didn't marry up is lying, and that they accomplished something on their own is lying. Nothing I've done or accomplished is without this woman. And she's everything. And this is my daughter Lucy. This is Mrs. Cartwheel. And bless her heart, she's my oldest, and she's now 14. When we did this campaign, she was 13 years old. And in order for this journey to happen, logistically, we had to start in Hawaii. In order to make it from Hawaii to Alaska and do an Ironman in between, we had to start at midnight. So I'm just going to take you through my thought process and what I had to go through. Don't go to sleep because you're so excited and amped up to go. Start your first Ironman in Hawaii at midnight. Because that's what you have to do in order to finish a 12 to 14 hour event to make your airplane to get to Alaska. Land in Alaska at 6 a.m., get in the pool by 6:30, do your second Ironman. Don't sleep again, get on the plane, fly to Washington, do your third Ironman. So 3 Ironmans, 3 days, 3 states, a total of 6.5 hours of sleep on a commercial airline in coach with 5 kids. Not the best way to set yourself up for success on a campaign where you're supposed to do 50 consecutive Ironmans. So I got all the way to Oregon on day number 4. I did the 2.4 mile swim, I biked the 112, and I ran the first 23 miles. Every single day, at the end of my day, we would do a public 5K where we invited everybody out to come join us and run the 5K as a group. And we did this to raise money for childhood obesity, which we did over the course of the summer. We raised about $80,000 for the Jamie Oliver Foundation. It was extremely gratifying. Thank you. But I show up on day 4 for the 5K, and Lucy's standing there, and she goes, Dad, you look awful. Are you okay? And I said, Lucy, I'm not. And Lucy had run the 3 previous 5Ks with me. And this little girl, she goes, Dad, together we can do this. I'm going to run every 5K with you for 50 days.
Wow.
And then she said it again, together we can do this. And you won't see one picture of me running where Lucy isn't right beside me.
That's so awesome.
Like I said, you can't do a journey by yourself, and you have to have an incredible supporting crew. And I didn't know when I picked it, but these 2 guys, Casey and Aaron, they became my wingmen. And they sheltered me from the elements. They made sure that I was getting my nutrition when I needed it. They did everything. I don't know when these guys slept, because they helped me all day and they drove me through the night. It was literally one day, and these guys took naps for 50 consecutive days. But they were on their game all the time. If you're going to have a crew, you want to make sure that your crew will do whatever it takes to help you achieve your goals. And I'm telling you, again, you won't find a picture where these guys don't have just an unbelievable smile on their face. And I don't know when they had time to do all of this stuff, because we were all equally as exhausted as each other. But I'm telling you, if you can surround yourself with guys like these 2, you will absolutely have success. There's 2 ways to think about something in life and on a journey, and we're all on our own unique journeys. And you can have a plan A, or you can have a plan A, B, and C. And there's lots of different mindsets out there. Mine is there's only a plan A. There's no other option. Now, what you need to be is creative. You need to be intelligent. You need to be able to pivot. But the plan is plan A. It was always 50 Ironmans, 50 days, 50 states. We had 1,000 opportunities to make it 49 in 50, 48 in 50. We had obstacle after obstacle. On day 1, mile 10 of the bike ride, we got pulled over by the cops in the middle of the night and said, you guys can't continue. My plan A is out the window. Like, it's gone. My plan A was not to be falling asleep on my bike and having such high levels of exhaustion. I was completely naive, which is the best way to go into such a huge journey. It really is. You should be naive. You should set a goal so big it scares the crap out of you, and then have no idea how you're going to accomplish it, but go in there swinging. That's how you achieve greatness in whatever you're trying to do. Do we have volume? The volume's up. So this is me. I had to consume 10 to 12,000 calories a day to keep my body from withering away to nothing. And my hierarchy of needs was sleep before food. So they had to watch me consume food, and I had to take pictures of everything that I was eating and send it to someone so they could track it. I had to figure out a way, and in life we have to figure out a way to keep going. If I started to think, oh, yeah, I only have 20 more consecutive Ironmans to go, well, that guy looks good. You can't think that way. And so, when was the last time you did something for the very first time? I want you to really think about that. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Just a little bit outside your comfort zone. How comfortable is everybody in what they're doing? This dude's scared. He woke up every day scared with a choice that he had to make. This was day 1. When I finished Day one, I was so sick. Everything in my body left. I'd flip my esophagus flap open because I threw up so violently. For the next 2 days, I had extreme acid reflux. That dude's scared. What on day 18, when you're so exhausted and it's 106 degrees outside and you lose concentration for 2 seconds and you fall asleep on your bike and you crash. You've got 80 more miles to go that day, a marathon to run that night, and 32 more consecutive Ironmans to do. Are you scared? I was terrified. What do you do on day 20? When you look down and this is what your vehicle is now to move you across the next 30 days. How strong is your mind? Are you willing to face your fears in that moment and keep going? Are you going to pack it in and go home? What's your legacy worth to you? What are you willing to do to put your stamp on something? I wasn't stopping. So a word quickly flashed there, it said be selfish. Controversial. Right? I didn't leave it up there. No one can take a picture. I didn't say it. Sometimes in life, it's okay to take time for you. Because I promise, you can't help anybody. Which is, I hope, the reason we're all here is to help other people. And you can't help anybody unless you are right. You are in the right space, at the right time, doing the right things. It's okay to be selfish. On day 30, I pulled over on my bike, I kneeled in some grass, and I wept. I cried uncontrollably because it hurt so bad to keep moving. And I said, right now, it's time to be a little bit selfish. And I'm going to go inward for the next 20 days. Because I know if I come out on the other side, I'm going to have one hell of a story to tell. And that story will hopefully resonate with a few key people that will tell it to a few more key people. And the influence can be great. But I had to, just for one moment, be selfish and be okay with it. How are we doing? Good? Everybody's awake? This is one of my favorite things. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. A better you is on the other side of fear. Fear paralyzes you. It stops you from progressing and taking action. It has everything to do with our attitude. I was once told 10% of life is what happens to you. And 90% of life is how you choose. Keyword there is choose, to react to it. I had a choice there laying on the side of the road. Everything was happening to me. My body was breaking down. Mentally, I was collapsing. The crew was having so many issues. I had a choice to push through, get up, and keep moving. And that's what I did. Secret to success? This is a fun picture for me because I'm the only one that knows what I mean there, but this was on day 49. And it was my message to everybody that I had one to go. And I had one day to go. The secret to success is to do the work, take the next step. Nobody's going to do any of those things for you. It's something you have to do on your own. One quick story, and then we'll get to some Q&A. This is a woman that I met on my journey, and she got a hold of us with about 5 races to go, 45 through 50. And she says, I want to run a 5K with James. Is that possible? We said, absolutely. So she showed up. she started to run. And the run quickly turned into a walk. She was the last person to finish that day. And I said, how was it? She said, it was awful. Can I do that again? Yeah. Well, let's go to South Dakota. So she showed up again the next day and she did 5K. And she was the last person to finish. I said, how was it? It was awful. Can I do that again? It's just the hardest thing I've done. And she did that for 3, 4, 5 consecutive days. And on the 5th day, she was the last person to finish. And I walked up to her and I gave her a huge hug. And I said, Mom, I'm so proud of you. My mom's an amazing woman and she struggled with obesity her whole life. And that was one of the hardest things she's ever done. Everybody's heart is different. Everybody is struggling with something different. And your heart is very real to you. But face that fear. Take on your heart. Because I promise a better you is on the other side of fear. Guys, it's your life. And I'm living mine. I take life by the horns and I run. And I've spent thousands of hours in the pool swimming. And I've had so many long conversations with myself on the bike. Yeah, I am what's right. And I've spent countless hours running. And in the few days that led up to our finish line in Utah, a song kept coming on the radio. And I promise you, life is not filled with finish lines, it is filled with milestones. Reach those milestones, the highest you can possibly reach them.